Hey everybody, it's me, Dr. Christina Hibbert. Have you ever felt like the world is just falling apart? That's kind of how I feel today. We had another school shooting in the world today, and I also got some very bad news about a friend of mine who's been struggling with cancer and is perhaps at the end of her battle. Just this week, a few days ago, somebody actually set a fire in our backyard. And we live in the middle of a forest. So luckily my daughter was awake and saw the flames at midnight, but they're still trying to catch the arsonist who is going around setting fires along this golf course where we live in the forest. I mean, sometimes you have to wonder, like, what is the world coming to with everything that's going on? And I think it's particularly difficult for we parents to know, how do we talk about these things with our kids? I have had the unfortunate experience, I guess you'd say, of having to talk to my kids about a lot of really, really hard things. Starting with, that their mother and aunt had died, that we were suddenly inheriting our two nephews because of that. Their grandparents had died. My friend had jumped off the Grand Canyon and taken her life, who was the mother of my children's best friends. I get to deliver the news about my friend today to my kids tonight, about their teacher and this woman that they admire who's my dear friend. And yes, I have had plenty of opportunities to talk about school shootings, especially because in our community in Arizona, we've had some random threats. In particular, one time where every week or two, they would just get a call into the school district saying that there was a bomb somewhere. And so put all the kids on lockdown. And at that time, I had a daughter who was, in middle school and was completely terrified by this. Every time she imagined in her head that someone was coming to shoot her and kill her. And so every day after these lockdown drills or lockdowns, she would come home and it would be hours of me trying to comfort and calm her. So what can we do? It's hard. It's hard as parents to know how we can explain things that are unexplainable and talk about things that are really, really difficult and challenging. But we must, because if we don't, then our kids get the wrong idea or get misinformation, which is equally as bad, right? So what can we do? I have 5 suggestions for you. Number 1, we have to talk and be honest. That means talking with kids about what's going on in their own language, meeting them at their own level. For young children, getting down to their level even can help. Using words that they understand, trying to break things down as much as possible. For older children, might mean more of a complex discussion, but making sure that we make that time to talk about it in our homes, as a family, to show that it's okay to talk about it with me because I'm your mom, your dad, and I care about you, and I'm here to help you no matter what your questions are. And this goes for any kind of tough topic, whether it be death or threats in the community or in the world, school shootings, things that we don't comprehend, tragedies, world events, and even things like pornography and sex, and the tough topics that we sometimes feel like we don't know how to talk about. We have to first have the talks openly and honestly, and 2, make sure our children know that when they come and talk to us that we can handle it. Now, by starting the talk, that's a good way to show them that, yes, I'm willing to talk about this because I'm opening it up for conversation. But also, we need to explain it explicitly. By the way, honey, I am here for you. I know this is a hard thing to understand. I don't even understand it myself. I know it's scary. I understand that, and I totally validate that you feel afraid. But I want you to know that I'm here for you and I want to talk to you. I want you to be able to share with me whatever you're feeling about this. And I'm totally open to that. So please come to me. You will not get in trouble if you see something or if you talk about something that you think you're going to get in trouble for. As long as you're honest and open with me, I'm going to be here for you. And that's number 2. Number 3, we also need to give kids a chance to process and feel. Now, to me, feel means capital F-E-E-L, freely experience the emotion with love. We can teach this to our children by modeling it for ourselves, letting ourselves feel, and this can also help our connection with our children if we've given ourselves permission to feel sad about this loss. Today, this news with my friend. I've been at a conference all day. I've been sitting in a class all day. I look exhausted, and I'm exhausted and tired of all of this craziness in our world that brings me down. But I have felt a lot today too. I let myself take some time at lunch and just shed a few tears and talk to my husband about my friend and some of the things going on. And so we have to first freely let ourselves experience the emotions that come up, whatever they may be. Maybe even set a timer and say, for 10 minutes, I'm going to sit and feel this and just focus on how I feel and love ourselves through it. And then we teach our children to do the same. How are you feeling, honey? How do you feel about this? Tell me everything. And don't judge the feelings. All you need to do is just to say a couple of things. Say, I'm so sorry. It's so hard to feel like that. I feel that same way too. I am so sorry that you are feeling that way. I wish I could make it better for you. Talk to me. Tell me more about how you feel and what's going on inside. And teach them how to feel some of those emotions. That's number 3. As we feel, that will keep those channels open for discussion. And then number 4, we need to follow up with the kids. We need to follow up. And perhaps the next day or later that evening, how are you feeling now? How did it go? How did you feel after we talked about it? Hopefully they'll say they felt better. What can I do to help you feel better about this, or to help you understand better, or to help you process more of what you're feeling, or using kid terms? How can mommy help you feel better, right? Being able to follow up with them shows that it's on your mind, and they don't have to be afraid that you're just going to forget or it was a one-time thing, but that it's on your mind. In fact, with my daughter and the school shootings and the lockdown drills, it ended up being somebody in New York who had set some automatic thing to call phones across the country and make bomb threats. So I live in Arizona. It wasn't even near us. It wasn't a real threat. And I knew that. I felt that. I really felt that. But my daughter did not feel that. So we have to validate their experience too. Backing up to the last one, how they feel. We must validate those feelings, right? Validate those feelings that it's okay to feel that way. Of course you felt afraid. You thought someone was literally coming with a gun to your school outside your window to kill you? Of course, and this is the world we live in where this is the kind of stuff we are afraid of, right? And it's a real fear. So validate those fears, add that into number 3, validate those fears, and then follow up and continue to validate as we follow up. Now, I know you were feeling really scared yesterday. How did it go at school today? I heard there was another lockdown drill. What can I do to help? What can I do to help? And then number 5, do one thing to show them that you are going to help. That might be, let's go out for ice cream. Let's go for a walk and you can continue to talk to me. Or let's watch your favorite movie together tonight. Let's do something together to show that, this is a safe place. The love is here. Do something to love them as the final step. And that is going to show them that you really are there for them and that they really can make it through with your help. Now, one thing I did was go to the school and talk to the principal and say, hey, if you're going to have these lockdown drills, which I totally agree we have to have because we have to keep our kids safe, how can we make them mentally, emotionally easier for these kids? And she was great about listening to my suggestions, and she implemented having some little buckets with activities and snacks and drinks and things they could do, so it's not just sitting being afraid. These are some simple suggestions that, if followed, can make a great difference. Number 1, acknowledge what they're thinking, acknowledge what happened, be honest and open, talk about it, start the conversation. Number 2, be sure to be open to having them come and talk to you, and make sure you communicate that I am here for you and I am okay to talk about any of this stuff. You know, even something like death. Kids can feel like we are not okay with talking about that. And the truth is, sometimes we put that out there because we're so grief-stricken that it seems like we don't want our kids to come talk to us. So if you're in that place where you feel like you can't be the one for them to talk to, then say, you know what, I am not doing well, but here is somebody else you can talk to. Your aunt, your uncle, your teacher, your friend, a neighbor, whoever it might be, right? Set that up for them because that's the best alternative to having you there. So that's number 2. Number 3, feel, freely experience the emotion with love. Do that for yourself and then teach your kids how to do the same. Show them what they can do to process the emotion and keep them talking about their emotion. Have them act out the emotion through, being active in activities, getting them moving, spending time together, and helping to process that emotion can then be helpful for number 4 when you follow up, whenever that might be, later that day, the next week, and ask again to show them that you're still on board, you're still paying attention, you're still doing this. And number 5, of course, throughout the whole thing, you're loving. But if you can at least do one thing that first day and on your follow-up day to show that, hey, I'm here for you, I love you, and I'm going to try to love you in the way that you want me to, whether that's being with you and spending time, helping you to, accomplish something by serving you, talking with you, just physically hugging and cuddling, doing something fun together, whatever that might be. I really hope this is helpful because we do live in a crazy world, and if there's anything that I know for sure, it's that these hard discussions, these hard topics, they have to be discussed. We have to tackle them as parents. We cannot let them go, and it just seems to be getting harder out there. But with these skills, you can make a difference not only for your child but for yourself, because guess what? All of these things are helping you the whole time too, and helping the family relationship come together as well. I hope you'll visit my website, drchristinahibbert.com. Leave some comments below and let me know your thoughts on this. If you have any suggestions to add, I'd love to hear those. And be sure to subscribe to my newsletter and my free programs on my website, drchristinahibbert.com. Thanks so much, everybody. Until next time, bye-bye.